John and Susan are investigating films. John wants to find out the favourite type of film of students at his school. Susan wants to find out which type of film made the most money in UK cinemas last year. State the population for John's investigation. So the population are the people, items, or things that you were interested in measuring. In this case, he is trying to find out the favourite type of film of students at his school. So that's the people he's interested in. That is your population. Students at his school. And then for Susan, she wants to find out which type of film made the most money in UK cinemas last year. So my population for Susan would be films shown in UK cinemas last year. Cool. Susan plans to collect information for her investigation from the internet. Give advice to Susan so that she can ensure the information she collects is reliable. Literally any common sense point would work. The first point that comes to my mind is make sure information is up to date. Because there's no point on going to a website to find out what films in the UK made the most money last year and then the source is from 1997. Because that would not be the most recent. That would not be last year because 1997 was years ago. You need to make sure it's up to date. You need to find the most reliable data as possible, the most recent data as possible. John is deciding between two different sampling methods for his investigation. Method A is quota sampling by sampling 20 students from each year group. Method B is opportunity sampling by selecting the first 50 students he sees in one day. For each method, give a reason why the method is not random. This is quite a nice question because you can basically say the same thing for each point, but just using different words. So for method A, something not random basically means not everyone has an equal chance of being selected to be in the sample. So method A, I'm going to be like, not everyone has an equal chance of selection. Something like that. That's literally the definition of something being not random. Method B, opportunity sampling. Well, if you're doing an opportunity sample for the first 50 people you see one day, you may be only getting information from 50 year 7s, and that may be different to the views of the first 50 people in year 11 or year 10 or year 9. So maybe like if first 50 people are in same year group, this may give a biased view, or this may give a biased representation. I basically said the same thing for both points. The first one I said not everyone has an equal chance of selection, and then the second one I've explained what the effects of not everyone having an equal chance of selection being. Obviously, if you've only asked 50 people in year 7, then not everyone has had an equal chance of selection because you haven't included any in 9s, 10s, 11s, 8s, or even 12s or 13s. So yeah. And then part D, explain which of the two methods John should use in order to minimize bias. Give a reason for your answer. Well, I'm going to go with quota sampling. Because every year will be represented in the sample. At least with quota sampling, although it may not mean that everyone has an equal chance of selection, at least you're going to ask every year group. Whereas with the other one, opportunity or convenience sampling, it doesn't matter whether the first 50 people you see are from different year groups or are from the same year group, you're just going to ask the first 50 people you see, and they may all be in the same year group. So obviously, quota sampling, although it's not completely random, it's a better and more it minimizes the bias a lot more than it would be if you were to use opportunity or convenience sampling.